Good morning. We're using ITM MStat this morning on the Euro USD here on the M5 time frame. We have a predicted direction that's been taken as an aggregate of multiple time frames to the long side here. So we're going to go for a 30-minute trade. It is currently 8:42, so the next closest trading opportunity would be at around 9:15. So we'll choose that expiry time. That's roughly 32 odd minutes away. High trade selection, $100 investment here. Quickly checking the chart here for the price just above the middle crossover on the EMAs on your chart as part of the MStat template. So opening up the graph here, we are in currently the red zone. We've got 30 minutes to go. So trade has just started and we'll come back to you just before expiry or at expiry. Alright, back again here. It is currently 22 seconds away from expiry. Price went into the money quite comfortably, retraced all the way to the entry point, bounced off and bounced off again. It is currently in that same range and bouncing comfortably above the entry point, which is what we need. Furthermore, you can see confluence on the MStat chart with price bouncing off of the EMA crossover zone with the predicted direction still very much long. So once this trade expires, which it has now, we have expired in the money. So once the platform completes calculating expiry, we're going to continue going on this 30-minute trading spree for at least another couple of trades. They do take a while, but we'll happily sit here for another hour and showcase if we can get in a nice consecutive streak, or if not, what the output win rate is going to be at the end of this hour and a half. So the trade is currently calculating expiry on the platform. Once that's done and the platform has released the profits as well as released the funds as well as booked the profits, we will move on and see if we have a legitimate opportunity available to go for another 30-minute expiry here. So the platform has now completed calculating expiry. $85 net profit has been netted. So let's go back to the chart here. We are looking at the predicted direction remaining to the long side. Again, you must know that this predicted direction is taken as an aggregate of multiple time frames as well as the proprietary leading algorithm inside ITM MStat. So we're going to shoot for another 30-minute expiry here to the high side. It is currently 9:16, so the next available expiry that meets the 30-minute criteria is at 9:45, just under 30 minutes, which is fine. So $100 invested here. We're going to buy into the trade. And once the trade is in, we will wait until expiry or at expiry to come back and showcase the results here. As you can see, $185 gross return there for an $85 net profit on a $100 investment on this Euro USD high-low trade today. Alright, back again. It is currently 9:44:38. We are roughly 20 seconds away from expiry on this. Yet another Euro USD trade here taken off of the ITM MStat chart with a predicted direction being an aggregate long, with price having freshly bounced off of the crossover EMAs before we took the trade. This trade too has been in the money, ranged a bit, but has successfully broken through the entry point as projected by ITM MStat and is now retracing above the entry point and has now expired in the money as well. So once this trade completes expiry, we'll continue on for at least another trade, and as long as the predicted direction is the same or the reverse, as long as price is just at or above the crossover EMAs on your MStat chart, we are in a position to take another trade. So we're going to wait for this trade to complete calculation of expiry. Once that is done, we will have an $85 net profit on a gross profit of $185 on a $100 investment for this trade that's expired on a 30-minute session here at 9:45 a.m. GMT. So the trade has now expired. There's your $185 gross return. And we're now going to move on and see if we have another opportunity available to us on the MStat chart. Going back here, we see price is just bouncing off of the crossover EMAs in the middle, and we have a predicted direction long yet again. Again, this is a multiple aggregate direction, which gives it a lot more emphasis and a lot more importance in the context. It's not just some simple long or short prediction. It is an aggregate prediction fed into a proprietary algorithm. So now, once again, high trade here with a $100 investment. The next expiry is 10:15, roughly 30 minutes, just under 30 minutes away from our current entry point. And we are now into the trade. Just going to open up this chart here for a zoomed in view. Currently outside of the money, but that's okay. We have another 30 minutes to go. So we'll come back to you just before expiry. All right, back again with roughly 14 seconds remaining on this third Euro USD trade here using ITM MStat. As you can see, this was a breakout or impulse movement that was captured quite nicely by ITM MStat. The rules are extremely simple to follow. All we did was look at the predicted direction and look at where the price is in relation to that direction across the EMAs, the crossover EMAs in the middle. The rules are very simple. Price has to be contained within the outer envelopes and has to be just bouncing off of the crossover EMAs. And if that ties in with the direction being projected by ITM MStat, we are in for a legitimate high probability trade. This is exactly what we did in this case. This was a beautiful move, lots of movement here, quite a few pips into that move, which has now expired in the money, and the platform is currently calculating expiry. This third trade will, once the platform has completed calculation of expiry and booked the profits, we will be looking at an $85 net profit again for a third time on a $100 investment with a gross return of $185. The zoomed in chart here shows that movement, clearly an impulse move on short-term time frame. Looks like a breakout on the time frame as well. So on the had this been a 1 minute chart, we would have been looking at a very strong breakout. On the M5 chart, it offers you a bit more flexibility in terms of selecting your entry, and if you're using ITM MStat, it allows you an aggregated view of all time frames, so you can really fine-tune your entry point and use the M5 time frame to your advantage there. Rules again very simple. Look at the direction, look at where the price is. Price has to be contained within the outer envelopes and has to be just bouncing off of, or just having bounced off of, the middle crossover EMAs, and that's it.